Hello folks, it's me again. So, I've been thinking about Threnodians and went to Wuthering Waves wiki to see if I can find there something, but this description here didn't really satisfy me. It didn't really satisfy. I just saw here that Overfrax is a Threnodian of war, so I clicked on it. But it's clear that's clearly not enough. So then I went on to look for the meaning of this word, because Threnodian originates from threnos. So I clicked here, and let's see what it says. It says a threnody is a wailing ode, song, hymn, or poem of mourning composed or performed as a memorial to a dead person. Similar terms include lament. So we click here, and a lament or lamentation is a passionate expression of grief, often music, poetry. Interesting. However, that still doesn't really say what a Threnodian is, or does it? Well, we can say that a Threnodian is something that performs threnodies. Something that keeps on grieving. Or maybe it's just the dead that is grieving. Maybe it is actually the dead, the deceased, that have become one with Overfrax and are always grieving. Now, if you look at the Tacit discords, you will see that they always carry a Tacit cross, and a Tacit cross. The Tacit cross reminds me of a death cross. And what does this mean? I mean, these things are pretty much carrying a death cross, indicating that it's most likely the dead who have merged with Overfrax, become part of the hive mind that keeps on grieving. And all this grief has manifested as Tacit discord. So that's why I would say that this hive mind gave birth to those Tacit discords. Now they keep on grieving and attacking everything because of all that grief that's just making them mad, so to speak. Or that's how I see it. So, and we can also say that these Tacit discords are also trapped, and they cannot go back to Mother. I think Mother is the female we saw in the very beginning. I think that's Mother. We don't know much about her yet, but I think that's Mother. And they cannot return to her. So pretty much they are just trapped in this hive mind, forced to grieve and suffer more. And what you're seeing here is what you're seeing here are the shells. They're also, we can also say statues, the remains of a deceased, so to speak. There's now one on the other side. There are some statues here nearby the Sea of Flames. There's some statues here in Norfolk Valley in Spinning Ruins, so you will be able to see these statues all over the place here. Meaning that this is where many died and became part of the hive mind. So pretty much this looks here, if you look at this again, overfrax, it really pretty much most likely is a hive mind or some sort of hive mind. All the dead have become part of it, and I think it can grow and grow and grow bigger. It can keep on growing. It's also sad that the Threnodian of War resides in the heart of Crawlers. Do you remember the CBT? Where Krauss was kicking and punching all these chicks? This thing was so brutal. Imagine being forced to grieve and to suffer and not being able to find salvation. Yeah, that is pretty much why this thing was so pissed off. Especially when you were the player realize that society creates its own monsters. Like even in our real world, there's so many wars, so many meaningless wars, and it just causes so much grief, so much pain. So it's no different, not that different in Wuthering Waves, because all these wars they cause so much grief and so much pain. But in Wuthering Waves, it all the grief has become part of the hive mind, so to speak. And now this hive mind is terrorizing the people of Jinzhou, and we clearly saw. We saw Crown was terrorizing those chicks. Actually, that thing was terrorizing them so much that many players were like, oh my god, how dare he, or how dare it, why are these things happening, and blah 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 blah. Actually, that was one of the best scenes. Actually, one of the best scenes, because it makes you question, why is this thing so pissed? And if you take into consideration, all the grief, if you look up the word threnos and start doing your research, you will understand why it's all happening. However, there are still many questions left. Questions left because how is it possible that all that grief and pain can become physical? It becomes literally physical. How does it happen? What is at play? Like, there's so many things we still don't know yet. This game is like 5 months old. Of course, we won't know everything, but I wished there were more world quests that could take advantage of all that lore, because Wuthering Waves has enough lore, but there are close to no world quests that take advantage of it. And even though if it was up to me, I would just think of some cool world quest, even if it involves some yapping. That's what some people call it. Who gives a shit? Create immersive world quests. Because if everything is just about combat, like you see, we got this new event here where we can beat up punching bags. Where is it? Infinite battle. So infinite battle simulation. So you can pretty much beat up punching bags all the time, but I wish there were some really cool world quests which could take advantage of all that lore. That's something I'm really missing. But anyways, folks, I've got many things to do. See you later.